feel like we need to be a bit closer. What's that?
What is this? Oh, it's like strawberry sauce.
Oh.
That's so nice.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've got my very glamorous assistant once again.
The star of the show, baby.
You haven't been here in a while, so welcome back. How are you feeling?
Ready to take over the show once again.
Obviously. So today we are doing a Q&A, and primarily a lot of the questions have been fitness based. But we are going to be eating and we're going to do a mukbang. And I'm so excited, I'm starving. We both have literally not eaten. It's like 4 PM just because we've been busy working and Matt was out, so I had to wait for him to get home. Here's your cutlery. We have gone to get some yo sushi, but quite a lot of these things we've not actually tried before because we absolutely love the Californian rolls.
We also don't eat to like this excess very often, so.
No, definitely not.
But
I
spirit of YouTube.
I left Matt to order everything, so I was quite overwhelmed when he got home. Oh my god, that looks so good. I'm actually gonna have a little. Sorry, yeah, you might need to cut this bit out.
It's raw.
What's wrong?
You just.
Oh. Okay. Shall we start? Hang on. Look at these. Kiwi lemon mint.
Whoa.
Oh my god, it smells good. Right, number one. Is it okay that I don't burn the same calories every single day? Yes. And that is totally normal. Are you going to say something? Oh. Yeah, firstly, that's totally normal. We even throughout our bodies at different times of the month will burn different calories. We obviously have a BMR, which is our basal metabolic rate, which is essentially just the calories that we burn throughout the day. And as I said, they will change throughout the month, especially with females, throughout our period, different times of the month. Again, as I said, different calories will be burnt. And obviously from exercise, because you're not every single day going to do exactly the same thing. It's completely normal.
I think worry about the things that you can control. You can't control like burning exactly the same amount of calories every day. So, you know, if you're moving more and you're controlling what you're eating, then
perfect.
You're probably in a good place. So, I've never tried one of these.
I did have them when I went there. They were my other choice. They're not as good as Californian, but they are good. Like they're kind of average, aren't they? I was expecting more from them. Were you?
I just wanted some sort of prawn in it.
And because they didn't have the prawn capsule on the menu.
I'm new to the prawn life.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I enjoy prawns. I think they're my favourite fish. It's not a fish, is it? What is it?
Small.
No, that is.
It's a shellfish.
Yeah, it's a small fish.
That is
it's not called bowl.
Oh, but it's a shellfish. Counting calories feels restrictive. Is there any other way to lose weight? I'm finding this hard to eat and then answer. So.
No, don't ask questions. What's your
Right. So yes, there are other ways to help you lose weight. And that would be eating intuitively. So essentially, you eat when you are hungry, you finish when you're full. You try and focus on nutritious foods, eating like voluminous veggies and all of that kind of stuff. That being said, it is likely that the process will take a little bit longer because you're not heavily focused on that. What do you want to say to that?
I disagree. That's what I would say. I don't think you can eat intuitively and not be restrictive. So like, what your main argument is that counting your calories, feels restrictive. Whereas I would argue the opposite. Like, counting calories gives you freedom, in my opinion. So like,
sorry, I had your mouth.
In reality, if you don't choose to count calories, you're probably going to restrict your food choices. You're probably going to restrict the amount of hours in which you eat. You're going to eat less calorically dense food, therefore stuff like Mars bars, Snickers, etc. Sometimes like sushi isn't going to be available to you. So I would say...
Is that ginger?
I love you. So I would actually say it's more restricted to not count calories. So like, I don't know if you've ever read Atomic Habits by, I think it's James Clear. Is that who wrote it? Anyway, and he says that you're always making a decision. So if you decide to, like a lot of people have this false concept of, I want to be free and I don't want to make like too many habits or routines because I don't want to be restricted. But in reality, what you do is you actually free your time up. So it's the same with food. If you're, you know, more structured with the way that you eat, you give yourself more freedom. So I would argue the opposite.
And I definitely do agree with that. I think that there's been a very negative light put onto calorie counting when actually it should be very flexible and give you a lot more freedom when choosing foods. I think that the problem is it's been tarnished by a lot of social media. I think it's personally easier to lose weight when I count calories.
Yeah.
So
I mean, realistically, you can't eat, let's say, 1,600 calories and not be restricted. Like the fact of the matter is, if you want to lose weight, there is some sort of sacrifice. However, I think you're more restricted if you try to diet and if you get what I mean. However, what I would say is I don't think that everyone needs to count calories all the time. I do think at certain points in your life, like if you don't really care about body composition, I think that's quite a hard thing to wrap your head around because, you know, we're all human and I don't think there's a time in the year where we don't, you know, glance at ourselves in the mirror post-Christmas and go, fuck me. Probably should have chilled out with a Guinness and
cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers, which is
do.
what we do. But at the same point, like, I think it's just an unhealthy expectation to think that we're going to be lean all year round. We're not. Your body weight's going to fluctuate, so is your body fat. So I think if you come to terms with that, you'd be happier.
I literally just did a post about that, didn't I? Who does your filming in the gym? Is it Matt or is someone hired? So it used to be Matt for a very long time, and he was very good at it. But we were just finding that it was disrupting workouts, and we also had other things really, really important to work on. So we now do have someone who films for us, and that is our housemate Yai, who I keep meaning to put.
Have I got
What
two
are
chicken
these?
casseroles? Oh, amazing.
What are these?
Fried, Korean fried chicken or something.
What's that? I thought that was Korean fried chicken. And he will be editing this video. And he's been working for us for a good few months now. Since like March time, I'd say. What are you doing? Trying to get ginger up. So yeah, he's been working for us for a while, and it's really, really handy. It's really helpful having someone there at all times just to be like, oh, can you film this for me real quick? Or in the gym, it's just convenient, isn't it?
I think when you start running your own business, like we're coaches, and the main thing we want to do is work with you guys and help you towards your goals and blah blah blah. So we don't need to, you know. Well, if we can, why would we not concern ourselves with things that are going to be very like admin-y? So like that's the thing with editing and filming is I don't necessarily like. Don't get me wrong, Elaine is better than both of us at this now, but I don't think it's massively difficult to do. It's just very time-consuming, and that's time that we could be spending with more clients. So I think that's the first thing that I would recommend to people to do is like delegate tasks that are just time-consuming, and especially if you're a small business owner or a PT. Hire someone to do that. You don't need to do that. And spend more time doing what you're good at, which is coaching and talking to people and being, personable. Chicken gyoza. What we saying? Is that gonna be good? What is this? What is this? What is that?
Oh, I feel like I wouldn't put that too close to your nose.
What is that?
Let me
Is
smell
it
it.
like a vinegar or like? I'm gonna try it.
Cool, don't spill it. Oh, it's kind of like the sauce that normally comes with it. What is that?
Right.
You double dipping? That sounds really good. I don't think I like that sauce. Right.
Like you.
Do you weigh yourself myself, how often, and what are my stats. I do weigh myself, not very regularly. I would say I weigh myself probably, if I'm really focusing on a certain goal, every week. Other than that, not very often. Matt, can you just check it's filming? I've literally just thought. Yeah, so probably weekly, if I have a goal that I'm really working towards. If not, I'm very laid back with it. I don't really focus too much on it. I would much more rather. I would much rather. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
I would much rather focus on the way that I looked or the way that I felt. And I think that's honestly when I lost like 10 kilos, I didn't really realise I lost that weight because I was so focused on enjoying my workouts. I was really enjoying the food I was eating. I would say for a very long time we weren't really restricting ourselves, i.e. when I say restricting ourselves, I mean we were on very high calories really for a deficit. We were very active and we were really enjoying ourselves, weren't we? Both of us, we did quite well last year. We did go through a phase of restricting or cutting the calories down a little bit more, and that definitely was a lot harder. But as Matt said, you have to take into consideration that sometimes you're going to have to cut things out, or not cut things out, but lower the calories to a position of discomfort, I suppose. But it was really good. I think that what? I thought you laughed at me.
No. So offensive.
What? My stats at the moment, I am 53.5 kg, roughly. And height-wise, I'm 5'2.5", 5'3". But yeah, I don't think they really want to know your stats. How often do you weigh yourself?
I'm different. I'd rather weigh myself every day in a week because I think sometimes what people do is, especially when they weigh themselves weekly, is they'll see like a fluctuation in weight one day and then they'll think that they've gained like 2 kilos, which is probably scientifically impossible for them to do. So what I prefer to do, especially when cutting, because it gives me the best like view of what's going on, weigh myself every single day for a week and then take the average weight, because that's probably the most realistic way of seeing what you're weighing.
Yeah.
Because realistically it's just stats. Like your weight can fluctuate from water and blah blah blah. So you know, when, for example, if you weigh yourself weekly and then 1 week like you're like, oh god, no, I put a kilo on, chances are you probably haven't. Like that's a lot of food to overeat by in order to do that. So
yeah, definitely. I think that's one thing that a lot of people forget, coaching wise as well, is that a lot of our clients only weigh themselves every week, and it does become a little bit difficult for those if they are a little bit stressed overweight and they'll see, like Matt said, that fluctuation, go, oh my god, but actually it's something so minimal. I am not fussed on weighing myself daily because, like I said, I don't really focus heavily on it. If I was really wanting to do a cut and I was using my weight as some kind of idea as to how well I've been adhering or what I should do with my calories next, then yes, I potentially would look at increasing the amount that I am weighing myself, but other than that, weekly is fine. How can you target where you lose fat from and where you build muscle? So, firstly, I really want you to try them. I haven't tried them yet. So firstly, the most infuriating thing about going into a fitness journey is you can't spot reduce fat, which means you can't choose where the fat's going to come off of. What's that sauce? Ned? However...
So it's got bones in it? Well, that is a chicken nugget.
Is it? Can I have a chicken nugget? Thank you, I need the mayo. One, obviously when you're saying focusing on building muscle, then yes, I suppose essentially you can target muscle growth really, can't you? Because you're focusing on the specific muscle you're working. That being said, it's likely that when you do a lot of lifts, you will be using other muscles in the way. Do you know what I mean? At any compound movement, it's a multi-joint exercise, so you are going to be focusing on more than one muscle. But I think the most important thing here is, I think from the way that this person's asked the question is they basically mean lose weight and tone up, which is essentially just losing weight and building muscle in a certain area. Most people, when they start losing weight, they'll think that they're toning up. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I.e. they'll think that they've toned up because they'll have lost some weight. But in regards to spot reducing or choosing where you lose that weight from, unfortunately it's just going to come off where naturally you lose weight first. I hold most of my weight on my back, which is literally the weirdest thing. A lot of people will hold it on their stomach, but I'm telling you right now, my back is like the last place for it to go. I hold the most of it there. I wish it could just go down to my bum. It just doesn't. But anything you want to add to that?
This is really strange.
Write it down.
I think it's beef teriyaki. No.
Them chicken nuggets are nice.
No.
How do you recommend finding the time to track everything if you're super busy?
You can pre-do it, so you can preemptively just track your week if you need to. So like you can just sit down, it's tedious, but you can just sit down on Sunday and track your week.
How's that going to sit nice? I think if you have a goal that you really want to achieve, you'll make the time. If you have your hair done, you really want it done, you'll make the time. I do think it is, like, tracking is tedious, regardless if you do it at the beginning of the week or on the day. It is.
I'm sure you can make 10 minutes a day to do it though.
Yeah, I was going to say, what I find works really well for me, and the reason I do it is because I then look forward to my, like, snacks, because obviously I love chocolate and crisps and ice cream and whatever.
It's not spicy.
One thing that I do, or quite often when I'm in a really, really, not a strict deficit, but... Is it nice? Is it spicy?
I don't know yet.
One thing that I try and do when I'm in a deficit and I really, really need to focus on them foods to get me through the day is I will pre-plan my day in the morning, and Matt is right, it takes about 10 minutes. Or you can do it at the beginning of the week. When you're, like, I don't know, when you're eating breakfast, you can do it. Like, there is definitely times when you're sat down that you can make yourself do it.
I don't want these leaves on my chicken.
It's only shredded lettuce, isn't it?
Oh, it's just annoying, man.
Or is it cabbage? Shredded cabbage, maybe. I think it's shredded cabbage.
That's alright.
Would you ever move to America? I love New York. The other day I was looking at apartments in New York. Not actually, I was just really curious as to how expensive they are. There's elements of me that definitely would. Whenever I see an influencer on Instagram in America, I just think it looks amazing. Don't you? I literally look at it and I think, oh my god, that just looks great.
I love America. I just think, well, firstly, I know Hebe, and she's like a real home bird, so she would miss home straight away. I also think, like, I lived in Italy for a little bit, and bear in mind that was 3 hours away? So even though I was only 3 hours away, family...
Oh, sorry, you got a spot. I thought it was something I'm talking about.
So, like, it's just 3 hours away is a bit too far for friends to travel. So, like, America is literally minimum 5 hours away if you're on the East Coast.
I'd say probably minimum 6.5, 7.
No, obviously you're west, like you're like 11 hours away. So, I think like we've spoken about like moving to LA for 6 weeks or like 3 months in New York or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, nothing finalised.
Set in stone.
I don't think that'll ever be permanent though, because we quite like being near our family, and our family are quite happy where they are. So they're not going to uproot and just move halfway across the world for us, unfortunately. My mum would.
Yeah, your mum would do anything.
Listen, Tracy Loader
would do anything.
Tracy Loader would move to America in a heartbeat.
Would you move to Vegas right now? Have you ever felt anxious about social media? How did you handle it? I would say that I probably wouldn't say I've ever felt like anxious in the sense of what someone thinks. I mean, maybe I did at the beginning. I can't really remember. Yeah, did I? But I definitely find that I get anxious over like what I post, in the sense of it's not that I'm worried about what people think. It's I want to. I can't spit it out. I feel like validation almost. Like what I post, I really sometimes overthink, and it doesn't need to be that difficult. So anxiety-wise, I would say that my anxiety probably is coming from a very different place than most people's. I'm assuming you were going to say something about when I first started my Instagram.
Well, I think with social media in general, like for example, I was speaking to one of my friends about this because I think ever since he's done my own social media, people talk to you about it. And what you get is a lot of people want to be successful with social media. And I think what holds a lot of people back is fear of what their peers are going to think. And like, I understand like that first time you hold a camera in front of your face and you talk to the camera, it can be intimidating. However, you know, you look at all of these people that are probably, you know, maybe taking the mick out of at school or whatever, or didn't have very supportive people around them. And like, you just look at the sheer number of people that are on YouTube earning good money now, or even for example for us, we started this so that we could potentially earn an extra £500 a month so that we could be better off. And what we've actually done is build a company that is amazing and can help loads and loads of different people. So I think what you have to do is get over that fear, put yourself out there, be consistent, and the people that truly support you will stay by your side and support you through it. And if people don't support you through these things, then you don't need them around. Like Hebe had plenty of friends that have been judgmental, to say the least, with her social media posts, and I have no time for them, because I can guarantee that people that take the mick out, people that take social media seriously, follow influencers. They'll follow people with 170,000, they'll follow Hebe, that kind of thing. And because their friend's trying it, if their friend tries it, it's cringy. But if it's social media, like influencers doing it, then that's fine. It shouldn't be the case. You kind of have to treat your Instagram like it's your job.
Your job, yeah. And I think that's one thing that we definitely did, wasn't it?
That's what we did in lockdown.
In the first lockdown, is we just treated it as work. And to be honest, we had the advantage of we weren't currently working at the time. So because we were in lockdown, but we definitely made it work. And we worked frigging hard. Like, really fucking hard. Do you feel fulfilled with your current jobs? Do you feel you got where you wanted to be? Well, it feels really funny because I feel like years ago I thought to myself, I'd love to do online coaching, but I just thought, I don't know how I'll do this because I don't have a following. I always used to look up to a lot of influencers, and Matt always said to me, like, you could definitely do like fitness influencing, and I was literally like, no way. So I think that it's really funny, like looking back on how far actually you've come. You don't really realise until you really sit back and think about it. And I think that's one thing that I wish that I was more like. I wish that I praised myself more on my achievements. In regards to like feeling fulfilled, I'm obviously very, very grateful and super happy with everything that is going at the moment. I wouldn't say I'm fully fulfilled. What about you?
I'm more than happy with where we're at. I think one thing I said to Hebe as well is that because we're ambitious people, and we're always thinking about what's our next target and how do we get there and numbers to get there. I think what can be difficult sometimes is being present and enjoying where you're at.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, I am fulfilled. Like I'm definitely happy with where we are and where we're headed. But then equally, you know, if all of this wasn't here tomorrow and I was able to just work online and help people with and coach people, and then, you know, travel as much as we want to do and have that freedom and lifestyle, then I would still be happy. Yeah. I think, you know, what was the question? Being fully satisfied? Oh, you don't fulfilled? Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're ambitious and we want to progress and be better, but...
Yeah, I feel like maybe you put that around the right way. Like, yeah, I'm definitely not unfulfilled. Yeah. I think you're right. I think we just have other goals that we are reaching for. Like even things like buying a house. bought a house. Like, that's something that would be very fulfilling. So guys, we did actually film a couple more questions, but the camera just stopped recording. It's not even dead, don't really know why. So sorry about that. It's done that a couple of times.
I also ate more food than I felt comfortable eating because I felt like I had to, and then you didn't even see it. So.
But thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I was just saying I want to become a YouTuber. So don't forget, that's really important. I'm manifesting it, I'm asking the universe, and I shall receive at some point.